My name is Tal. I'm a full stack developer at Rapyd. We're a payment provider solution company. We want to talk about white labeling today. It's basically a merchant, when he tries to integrate a payment solution to his website, he needs to do a decision between a redirect solution and an embedded solution. So we're going to show the two alternatives with live coding, and I hope I won't have many bugs, because you know how it is when you do a live coding. So let's assume this is our domain of the merchant. And I'm going to send to our API a request for creating a checkout page. Okay? So we're going to do like a payment in Germany and in euro. And let's say it's 150 euro. So as you can see, the first alternative is to do a redirect. The merchant calls the API of him and then redirects the browser to the domain of Rapyd. So what I'm doing, I'm creating a form with the URL of our backend and then submit the form. So it gets to the backend, which here it's Node.js, but it doesn't matter the language. And I'm calling the API of Rapyd. So I'm going to continue with the request. Okay, and I got a result from Rapyd. The results consists of a redirect URL, which is a UI already built by Rapyd, and I will redirect the browser to there. So if I do a REST redirect, it's an HTTP status of 303, and you can see that the browser redirects the client to Rapyd domain. Now the thing is, that's the alternative, or that's a decision that the merchant needs to do. Because a lot of customers, when they redirect from the merchant domain to another domain, they might think it's not very safe, or why did I get to another domain to make a payment? But the good thing about it is it's less integration. You do one HTTP call, and then we do the rest for you. You don't need to do any JavaScript, etc. So for example, I can make a payment. Okay, and then on the complete checkout URL, I can return to the merchant website. So that's one solution, which is the fastest one from the two alternatives. But then we have already also the toolkit. The toolkit, basically, it's creating a payment inside the domain of the merchant. You don't go out of it. You're not redirecting away. You need to implement everything in JavaScript. So if I go to Rapyd Docs, this is the integration with our toolkit. I'm going to copy the HTML. Okay, and let's paste it in here. So let's talk a few of the lines what it does. First of all, it goes to our CDN and downloads a script. Okay? So it needs to be sandbox. And then there's the sandbox. This CDN exposes a class called Rapyd Checkout Toolkit. And we need to paste the ID. So beforehand, we need to make a request to the Rapyd API. And then we need to, this is an MD5 hashing. It's a unique identifier in the world of the checkout that we created. We take this ID and we put it in the ID, in the constructor. And then let's run it in Chrome. I'm going to refresh and see what happens in the network. So first of all, it goes to Sandbox CDN and downloads basically the script. You can see that the script exposes the constructor, right? And then once the constructor runs, it makes an HTTP request for the checkout page, and we return the data for the checkout page. Now, if you can see in the HTML, you have an iframe. Basically, that's the That's the alternative. Instead of redirecting from the merchant to domain, we are still in the same domain, but under an iframe, we put the solution. If I will click this iframe link, what will happen, you think? Well, let's see it. So it's the same solution, but it lives in two worlds, either in its own domain or under the iframe domain. And now I can create a payment. Okay, and so what we need to do if we embedded it in our HTML is we need to listen to events and then render things according to this event. So in this example, if we look at the code, on payment success, we got an event from the iframe. And then we got the payment. So the payment is in status close, which means it was completed successfully. And then we can do some things about it. So yeah, that's our two solutions. It's either one. You guys also are invited to our challenge. You can win a ticket to either Dubai or Tel Aviv. You have 10 minutes to try to integrate the redirect solution. And if you guys have questions, then feel free to ask. Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to ask how much capability of like customizing the checkout experience there is through the API. Like, for example, localization to display the checkout in the different languages, like local language of the shopper, and also maybe a styling a little bit. Is it tweakable that you can do it from the API level?
Thanks for the question. So about the languages, I didn't exactly count, but let's see how much we have. So we have the language bar here, and these are all the languages. So you can see, basically we are adding, like every 2 weeks or every month we try to add a language, but it's a lot of money translating it all. So we go with whatever is more popular. But recently we also got Slavic and Slovenian. And about the customization of the CSS, it's better to use the toolkit. You can see, for example, the dashboard we have. Just a sec.
By the way, we have additional sessions later on with low code, no code, as well as about developer experience and how to integrate with the API in a more embedded fashion.
Yeah, so the client dashboard is the way to customize the URL. Basically, either you are using the SDK. Let me see. So you can, if you're using a redirect URL, also you can put the color of the button, etc., the complete URL, the button text. But for the SDK, you have more options. In the Rapyd Docs, you can see exactly what you can customize. So you have a CSS selector for each customization, and then you can put whatever you want in it. Any other questions? Okay, thanks guys a lot. Thank you.